On this episode of Team Building Saves the World.
The joy of now is that we have more time to do some customization and add some elements that then we just couldn't do.
We have bikes, we have skateboards.
Yes.
My personal favorite, which is teddy bears. And then we have like little toy kits for the holidays.
We want to give back, but we want to do, we don't have time to do the team building around it.
Hello, team. It's me, your old friend Rich Rininisland, host of Team Building Saves the World, the show where I speak to thought leaders from around the world, discussing variable strategies and tools to help you and your team build a better work environment. And today, it's time to look ahead toward the holidays with TeamBonding's Event Experience Manager, Laura Cooper, and Director of Corporate Training and Virtual Events, Jayne Hannah. But first, I do have to share some love with all my supporters at TeamBonding. If your team is ready to experience teamwork through the power of play, then visit TeamBonding.com to learn more. Now, team, join me in welcoming my guests, Laura Cooper, and returning friend of the show, the one and only Jayne Hannah. Hello, everybody! Oh, hello, my friends. How are you?
Happy day!
Doing well.
Excellent.
Yeah, good.
Excellent. So we have wrapped up Halloween for yet another year, which means that just like the stores, we're going to start talking about the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I had 2 client meetings for December events this morning. There you go.
Nice.
We are off and running.
Fantastic. Coop, do you know how many we actually sold in the last couple of years? Do we even have numbers?
I do not. No.
Janie, do we have those numbers?
No, we do not.
Because goodness knows. Well, just to share with everybody else who may not be aware of this as well, back in 2020, when, of course, we all had to go virtual for this, I can remember nearly 8-hour days sitting in front of my computer, going from virtual event to virtual event to virtual event, maybe like a half hour in between one or the other. Yep. So I had just enough time to be able to reset everything to get it ready for the next virtual event.
Yes.
It was awesome. It was like having a job. But
yeah, we did the busiest day was 80 virtual events in one day.
Nice.
80. And I did actually say to a client this week, the joy of now is that we have more time to do some customization and add some elements that then we just couldn't do.
Yeah.
There was no time in the planning, but it was a wild time.
So for my team out there, we are recording this on Friday, November the 8th, and I've just gotten a message from my producer, Lindsay. We have 40 holiday events so far, and that is both in person and virtual. So
that's great.
Janie, you're one of the only ones who would actually be able to answer this. Team bonding has, of course, been around since when?
Oh, gosh. 1985, I think, in its very early days, and I've been with it since 2002.
Okay. What did we look like back in the early 2000s then? So you can give us more.
Well, I looked a lot younger.
No. I know that. Oh. I know. I had brown hair at the time. I was still 4 years away from being a dad and all of this going white. But what did the holidays look like for team bonding back then?
Well, of course, in the early 2000s, we were all about in-person events. Mainly, I would say murder mysteries and casinos and fun things like that. And then through those clients, we developed more training and team building programs. And then we understood we could also celebrate and be together and do really fun things over the holidays and be team building. Nice. So that's kind of been the move in the celebration world.
Okay. And Lindsay is also now informing me, Laura Cooper, whom I'm going to refer to as Coop from this point forward, so everybody out there is used to it. That's just what we call her. Coop, 1985. You weren't alive then.
That is correct.
I just want to point that out so Jayne and I feel really bad about ourselves right now.
Yes, in 2002, I was in second grade. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank
you. That was. Thanks, Lindsay. That was lovely. Anyway, so Coop, as a young person, what's new? What's coming up this year that we have to look forward to?
I would say new this year is a lot of charitable events. So we still have like our traditional holiday stuff, but we have that new prosthetic hands project event. I know you had Chris on a previous episode.
Yep.
So he's great, but that has been the newest one that has been my favorite to produce.
And what else do we have besides? We've got bikes.
Mm-hmm. We have bikes.
Go on.
Skateboards.
Yes.
My personal favorite, which is teddy bears. And then we have like little toy kits for the holidays.
Well, in case people don't know, yes, Lindsay agrees. Skateboards are awesome. But just in case people don't know, when you say something like teddy bears, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what are these bears for? If you say it's charity.
Yes. So these bears, what they do is, they put them together, make a little outfit, give them a whole personality, which is my favorite. Mm-hmm. And then my job is to find really awesome children's charities, connect with them, and then we give them to the kids. So they have a little teddy bear, the name, a birth certificate, all that fun stuff, a new friend for them.
And we've done it for like the Boys and Girls Clubs of local areas. And that's the thing that I always loved about this, Jayne. Can you talk a little bit more about this? Because not only do we offer these events, we help the client to find where their charitable donations are going to go. Is that right?
Absolutely. So part of the charities, and this is for all of the charity programs, is it makes such a difference for the receivers of those, for the children of those. And things like the skateboards are being used to low-income schools, families, etc. But they're also used to develop people's confidence, to develop their sense of community, their sense of achievement. The bears, the most wonderful for us are that they are given in times of emergencies. So if, for instance, there is a fire and a child is involved, they're used within comfort within that. And of course, the wonderful Ronald McDonald House. And in fact, one of our facilitators shared a story that his daughter received one of those bears.
Awesome.
And that she still has it. And it just reminds her of the comfort and to be able to get through an illness, which I thought was wonderful. So, yep, that's the purpose behind all of those.
Plus, we also have donation stations, right? That's new to me. How long have we been doing that?
I'm going to say that has developed in the last 2 years.
Okay.
And that was created for our clients who are like, we want to give back, but we want to do, we don't have time to do the team building around it. So can we just set up areas where people will have a break and go and put together Operation Military Care we just did in Florida.
Yeah.
We do a lot of food pantry items, backpacks in that way, but basically you name it, we can do it. And if we haven't done it, you tell us what you want and we'll do it. That's how that works.
My personal favorite, I was leading one that was a toy build, not just teddy bears, but also wagons and other kinds of toys to give to children. And the charity that was chosen was actually a shelter house. So it was for families who needed to escape an abusive relationship. And sometimes they do this like in the middle of the night. So the parents and the children leave with nothing but the clothes on their backs. Suddenly these kids suddenly get a sense of normalcy when they're greeted with these toys. Coop, let me ask you, what did the clients seem to be leaning towards so far?
For the holiday season, we're seeing a lot of teddy bears. We're seeing a lot of skateboards, actually. And then Jayne mentioned it briefly, but our Operation Military Care, so the care kits for the military, has also been pretty big.
Awesome. And Jayne, I always throw this. Go ahead.
I was going to say, there's an in-person program that now we've also adapted to virtual called Play It Forward, and it's like a game show. And that too includes a wonderful donation. Again, food pantry, or we can adapt it, we can change it. And then the ultimate, which is also an in-person and a virtual. In that one, you do end up putting wagons together with the toys in them and a bear. Nice. So you've got many options here.
Now, the game show one, you said we do that live or virtually?
Yeah.
What does it look like? What does it feel like? So anybody out there who's thinking, oh, that sounds like something that would be fun for our people to do.
Well, we try, so in person, you've got the game show host, the stage, the light, everything. So you have that. Virtually, just think about you're watching it on your television, but you're in it. Right. So that's the difference. And utilizing breakout rooms, of course, it's not just a few people up on stage. We can put you into teams and doing it in breakout rooms and things like that. So it's very interactive and just as funny and lively. And who knows what happens on some of these? That's part of the fun.
Coop, let me throw it to you. What's your favorite?
My favorite right now has been the skateboard build that Just Roll With It. It's been so fun to coordinate with like different skateboard charities. These kids, it gives them an outdoor hobby with, you know, an adult around. They do have the best charity names. Those are my personal favorites to work with.
Like what?
And so so my favorite one that we just worked with in Miami, Florida, it was called Tutti Frutti Skate. They were great. And a lot of them really focus on people you wouldn't necessarily like consider skateboarders. So they focus on, you know, girls and people of color and stuff like that, and gives them a safe place to develop a skill, which we all love. So that's been my favorite to work with.
And I got to tell you, being the age that I am, the first time you guys called me up and were like, we want you to lead an event that's about donating skateboards, the first thought that went through my head was, who still does this? Like, why is it? I did not realize it was still as big a thing as it was back when my brother and I were grabbing on the back of trucks that were driving down our street on our skateboards.
Yeah. I
honestly didn't either. And so it's been great to see that it's surviving. And then you always have the people who are building the skateboards or who are like, I haven't touched a skateboard in years. I remember when I used to go, you know, like you said, grab onto the nearest truck and skate down the block. So it's a great bonding time, but also like brings back some good memories.
The thing that I loved most about it, just so everybody is aware, it is building skateboards that you were going to be giving to charities, but you also get to decorate the skateboards. So I did not realize there were that many artistic visionaries in corporate America as there are now. Just the few that I have done, we've donated dozens of skateboards that had some of the most beautiful artwork on them, or just simple design structures, or whatever it is they do. It's gorgeous stuff. Anything ring a bell or anything, you know, come to mind for you two?
I would say my favorite one that I've seen, they did the back of the skateboard was like WALL-E, the Disney movie. And so they had WALL-E on one end and Eva on the other, and it was so cute. And I remember thinking, like, we provide stencils for everyone. I don't think I've seen anyone use the stencils. They just most of the time the group together like freehands. And so I'm so interested to see the different themes that people use.
Excellent.
Yeah.
The thing that I love most about the holidays is, of course, those heartwarming moments. Those little, you know, around the fireplace, crackling, you know, thinking about family, thinking about friends, and especially nowadays, where everybody feels so divided, even in families. Even in my own personal family, there are so many different identities going on out there, and so many different, ideas of what positivity looks like nowadays. Just having that ability to bring people a little closer together and remind them that this is a giving time of the year, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. And doing any of these activities, to me, is always a reminder of who we are as people and not just our job titles.
Right.
That is important. And we've always had that as a company. That's important to us. It's not just doing a trend. It's not just doing a gimmick. If you're doing the team building, there are those activities that are all about that communication and support and using resources.
Yeah.
And I feel a bigger shift now more than ever towards our type of work and what it actually means to people and what they get out of it. That's so important.
Hopefully that has something to do with this podcast. Let's consider that.
Absolutely.
Actually, gang, if you don't mind, just hang on tight for me real quick. I need to step away for a quick second because I need to tell my team out there about a company we are all very proud to be a part of, TeamBonding. TeamBonding was founded over 20 years ago with one simple question. How can employees have a great time while fostering strong, authentic bonds between people who work together? No matter where your company is located, TeamBonding offers powerful, engaging, custom team building events designed to get the best out of your team anywhere in the world. They've created a catalog of innovative events using the power of play as a learning tool and tapping into the correlation of work and play. So whether it's scavenger hunts to Jeopardy or so many more, the team bonding of activities, live, virtual, or hybrid, maximizes the impact of team building with an accent on fun. So visit teambonding.com to schedule your event now. Team Bonding, when you want seriously fun results. And speaking of seriously fun, we are back with two seriously fun people, my friends Jayne and Coop, Laura Cooper from TeamBonding. Let's see if we can refresh anybody's memories out there. Jayne, it's been a while since you've been actually on the road leading these things, Jayne, except for maybe a virtual here and there. But can you hearken back for me and remind me of anything you saw that really touched your heart? You know, let's think along the lines of the Grinch's heart growing 3 sizes that day.
Well, I think it is what I said about a facilitator whose daughter had received one of those. And I know my story is always the bike build where I was facilitating. And one of the participants actually put up their hand and said that he had received a bike from us.
Wow.
Team bonding. Now, that does say how long I've been around.
Sure.
But just that he got it, he knew, and that was just wonderful. And also the turnaround, I will mention no names, but when you go into a room and you go, we're going to do this, there's half the people going, oh.
Yeah.
And then it's that turnaround when then you see that person begging to be on the winning team. Give me that number, give me that. And you're like, 5 minutes ago, you didn't want to be here. But they're so animated and excited and energetic. It's great to see that side to someone. So that's one of the wonderful things. And we see it on virtual as well as in person. Yeah.
And Coop, you've assisted on a few. Do you have any of these stories you'd love to share?
I do. So we've had a few skateboard events where we've been fortunate enough to see the recipients of them come back with stories about how they were so thankful. Especially recently we did with Tutti Frutti in Florida. So those recipients were going to some victims of the hurricane. So these kids, thought that they had lost their skateboards and we were able to provide them for them.
That's brilliant. I love it. Let's talk about you guys yourselves, just for the holidays. What do the holidays look like for you, Jayne? Are you staying in the States or are you heading home to England?
Yeah, I'm not traveling.
Okay.
I love the holidays. To me, it's family. And by that, I mean friends also.
Family chosen as opposed to family bred.
Yeah. Making quiet connections, talking about memories, sharing things together that one doesn't know about one another, doing some of these activities ourselves around the table. But just that sense of being together. We're in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, so it gets a wee bit chilly, which I love too, because then it's being cozy and making cups of tea and watching the television. And for me personally, thinking how lucky I am and to have had wonderful parents in my life and to have wonderful experiences in my life that are still with me here. And what can I do further as their extension, my extension? Yeah.
What kind of energizers you're going to do with your family, Jayne? With your friends
I
on the
always
holidays?
love a 2 truths and a lie because
Nice.
it's like, oh, right. You blamed me for that when now we realize it was. Yeah, things like that. We love card games and just games as well. It's always fun just being together.
What about you, Coop?
So I escaped the cold winter of Massachusetts and I go back to my parents' house in Oklahoma.
Wow.
The holidays is always such a big time with my family. So we all wear matching pajamas. And then me and my sister still sleep in the same room. And we still try and peek at our presents. So my dad wrapping papers like the hallway so we can't get into the living room. So we are still very into Christmas and the holidays and just being together, especially because we're all across the U.S. now. So the holidays is really the only time we can be together.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
I want to share this Christmas memory with you guys. I thought that this was something that could really only happen to me. Then I found out fellow facilitator and friend of the show, Kevin, who you can see his previous episodes in our playlists. But he was telling me he had the exact same thing where we would get on a virtual event and you were certain by looking at the people on the screens in those little tiny boxes on Zoom that they must have been doing an ugly sweater competition. And you just happened to say, all right, I'm looking forward to see who the winner of the ugly sweater competition is this year, just to find out they were not having an ugly sweater competition. It was literally just what they wanted to wear.
Love it.
So we talked a lot about the virtual and the skateboard course in person. Do we have anything else that's going on this year we want to share?
I want to give a plug because we're excited about 2 new virtual programs.
Okay.
Virtual Taskmaster, which is based on the UK fun game show.
Love that show.
And also now this is a really cool one, Corporate Tonight Show. And this is like having a Tonight Show interview that is all based about your company. So I guess it's a bit like this podcast, but like funnier, more relaxed. And, perhaps it's like that. But
funnier?
We have funnier. We have it's the holiday season. We have a questionnaire. And I'm event managing all of those. So you get to work with me and we go through what are you looking for and people can show off skills. They can tell jokes. We'll have a few games with them, playing music. It's going to be great. It's going to be all about the season and about you. So that's wonderful. And I have a feeling that a certain host who is very well known will be a very big part of that, mentioning no names.
Is it Santa?
No, it's me.
Oh, okay, cool. That's great. So if you need a backup, if you need an Ed McMahon for this, just let me know.
Got it.
So I can do the yes, all you like. All right. Let's talk about the brass tacks right now, Jayne, because I always throw this question to you every time we talk about the holidays. How long should a client wait before starting to figure out what they want to do and how we're going to handle it and, so on and so forth?
So for anything in person, you should be planning it right now.
Okay.
And remember that we do the wonderful activities, but you got to find the venue. You got to think about catering. You got to think about everything that you need. So, and I know that venues, things are already booked. That's the joy of virtual. When you can't go to a venue, you can do it in your offices. We also do hybrid as well, to keep in mind. Virtual has an easier span to, we can do something. You could say, next week we can probably do it, which is great. We've even done, can you do it? We've been let down. Can you do it tomorrow? also very manageable. So, but we prefer a week. So we are working on those that are already booked for February, which are not holiday events,
Okay.
but that's good to know, because also people want to plan so they can have the holidays off and not think about what they have happening in January and February. Give yourself as long as you can. And my old thing, which is true about life, simplify. Remember that you are people, and do not overschedule. Do not do too much. Do not expect a winter wonderland to be created within 30 minutes. Do not expect happy people throughout, your 3 days or what have you. Just simplify. Really work with the wonderful sales team that we have and wonderful event planners, and listen and take advice. Yes.
There you go, my friends. That's why Jayne Hannah is the best in the business, because she always remembers your people.
I do.
Yeah. Now this is actually a first. I'm going to call this a holiday miracle, because this entire season I've been talking about her, but nobody has actually heard from her. My producer Lindsay would like to chime in right now. She's got a plug she wants to throw. Lindsay, come on.
Good. So this is Lindsay. Jayne was speaking about our in-person events. A lot of times, making sure we plan it in advance. They have to find a venue. And with virtual events, it's really great because we just use, a web browser or Zoom. However, we do have a program that I really love. It's called a mystery bus. And the premise is that you don't need to have a venue in mind at all. What you do is we'll do like 5 to 6 hours. We put everybody on the bus. We'll do 3 activities. So we try to do something that's a little bit more cerebral, using your brain. We try to do something cultural, culinary. So I love to bring people to wineries. And then we like to do something physical. Like I send people to axe throwing, laser tag, really great stuff. So if you are looking for a holiday event and you're like, I can't find a venue, I have no idea. And you're like, well, I want everybody to be together. Definitely check out our bonding buses, mystery bus especially. But we were earlier talking about charitable aspects, which I love. So we also have another bonding bus called the Do Good Bus. And what we do for that is we put everybody on a bus. It's still a mystery, but we work with local organizations in your area to volunteer. So we have a lot of great things with that. So if you don't have a venue, no worries. Definitely check out our bonding buses. But again, mystery bus is super fantastic for the holidays. We've also put seeing Christmas lights in there. We've got hot apple cider as an option. So just wanted to throw that plug.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Good one, Lindsay.
That's
So
Lindsay,
right.
everybody. Yeah, we welcome Lindsay to the actual broadcast. Woo! Now, the amazing thing is...
TeamBonding.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
TeamBonding did a mystery bus for our own holiday party. So that's, good,
Nice.
good comment.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun.
And I want to point out, if anybody was confused, because Lindsay was talking a little fast, it is axe throwing, laser tag. It is not axe throwing laser tag. Those are 2 different events. You will not try to.
Though.
I'd be good at that.
I think the people with the axes are going to win, gang. I hate to tell you. I mean, laser guys might score higher, but who cares at the end?
I will now be looking that up and seeing if that's a possibility.
That's really funny.
Let's reach out to David. We'll see if we can't copyright it and trademark it first.
David would love that. David DG would love that.
He absolutely would. Gang, I can't thank you enough for coming on. Is there any last thing you would like to say to anybody out there who is thinking about what they want to do with or for their company for the holidays? Either Jayne or Coop, either one of you.
For me, just don't be shy. Call, discuss. Let's think about it. And what's great, we're huge. We're across the US. It's not just Massachusetts. We are everywhere. And virtual, we are international too. So there's a lot. There are many options. And looking at that website, you'll go, oh my gosh, what's what? Just talk. Just talk to someone. And then we can eliminate so many. And we're all sorts of budgets too. So don't be scared of that.
Nice. Yeah, and it's calling is not saying, here's my check. You can just call and find out. We have a great sales department who are all waiting to talk to everybody. You can even request to call and talk to Jayne or Coop, either one of them, and they will happily then move you to sales. Who knows more information about that you're looking for? Gang.
Well, I might take a check and then move them to them.
Okay, so Jayne, you got a bribe, but you know,
it's fine.
Coop, first time on. Did you have fun?
I had a blast. It was great.
Thank you so much for joining. Jayne, as always, thank you so much for coming back. Gang out there, my team, you can find out so much more about these ladies. Just go to teambonding.com. You can learn about them on the About Us page, or you can just reach out to the office, talk to them. They are happy to help to make sure that your event is the best event in the world. But gang, I hope you're sitting comfortably because it's time for my speed round. So, Coop, Jayne's an old hat at this. She knows all of this already, so this was pretty much just for you. What's going to happen now is for 60 seconds, I'm going to be playing some music. That music just keeps me in track of the time. It is literally 60 seconds in length. During that time, I'm going to ask you a series of innocuous questions. These questions are quite literally just a chance for us to get to know you a little bit better. But because this is a competitive thing, you two working together, we're going to try to beat 15. 15 questions asked within the 60-second time frame. Now, I will either ask you by name, Coop or Jayne. But if I don't say your name, if I don't say any name whatsoever, whoever answers first, that's the answer for the team, okay?
We got this.
All right. As soon as you guys hear the music, I'll start asking questions. Let's have some fun, gang. Coop, what's your name?
Laura.
Do you have any pets?
No.
Jayne, do you have any pets?
No.
What's your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
No.
Coop, what's your favorite childhood memory?
Being locked in my sister's room with wrapping paper so we don't peek at the Christmas trees.
Jayne, would you rather live in the past or the future?
Past.
Coop, what's your favorite thing you remember about kindergarten?
Nap time.
If you could time travel, where would you go?
New Zealand.
If you could have one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Chocolate.
Pizza.
Nice. Which cartoon character, Coop, would you like to play you?
Daphne.
And Jayne, who would you like to see play you in the story of your life in a movie?
Meryl Streep.
13, my friends. 13. Oh, Jayne, I think that's the best you have ever done. That's huge.
That's good.
Well done, gang. One more time, just if you can, whoever wants to, you want to throw some love to somebody who you want to talk to right now, or if you want to throw that final message out there to a client who might be thinking of calling us, feel free to do so now.
Oh, gosh, all of you. Coop and I love working together, and we love laughing and being busy. So make us busy. And I've got beautiful gingerbread kits. I've been talking about that with 3 clients this morning. We're doing that. So, and Rich, I want to send you love because you're a fantastic facilitator, wonderful human being, really funny actor and host, and everything that you bring to team bonding is a delight. So thank you, Rich, for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, and so I want to say for my team out there, just so you get to know us a little bit better, the reason we call Laura Cooper Coop is because she's the other Laura in the office who just had her first baby. So congratulations to her. The team bonding team just keeps growing. I look forward to that kid being an assistant in one of my facilitations really, really soon. Thank you again, gang. And thank you out there, my team. That's it. We're wrapping up yet another episode of Team Building Saves the World. If you've enjoyed this episode, whether new to the podcast or an old fan of the show, please be sure to share it with everyone you know. Whether they're a coworker, a friend, a family member, it just helps us to share all this vital information. You can find out all about us, including all past episodes, at teambonding.com/podcast. You can also find us wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Wherever you go to listen, I promise you we will be there. And don't forget to look for us on all the social medias at Team Bond Podcast. Leave me a message. Tell me whether you like the show or if you have an idea for a future topic of the podcast. I want to hear from you. So, before we say our final farewells for this episode of Team Building Saves the World, please never forget, my friends, if you are within the sound of my voice, you're on my team now, and I am forever going to be on yours. So long, team. I'll see you next time.
Bye. Happy holidays.
It's been said that you learn more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. So why not put your coworkers to play with the help of the team at Team Bonding? Team Bonding was founded over 20 years ago with one simple question. How can employees have a great time while fostering strong, authentic bonds between people who work together? Their catalog of innovative events includes scavenger hunts, Jeopardy, and much more. Each activity, whether live, virtual, or hybrid, maximizes the impact of team building with an accent on fun. Visit teambonding.com to schedule your event now. Team Bonding, when you want seriously fun results.